Okay, I think I am live. So this is a impromptu stream. If you're watching this when it's not live after the fact, I did not announce this at all. I didn't tell anyone I was doing this. I'm testing out a new configuration. I'm going to try to do some picture-in-picture here. So you've probably seen this on lots of other people's live streams. Like gamers will have their picture in the corner and while they're playing the game. So I'm going to try this out tonight. I'm going to test it out. I don't know. It would really help if I had at least one person on watching that could tell me if it's working. So I might just wait a minute to see if anyone pops on. So if you're watching, let me know in the chat. Just chime in. Let me know you're here. This is not going to be a long stream. I'm not planning on it being very long. Basically just kind of testing this out. So, all right, so here you see me. This is my webcam. And okay, we got a couple people. Steve K 1700, I'm watching. Thanks for watching. Benny Benzino Orozco, Mr. Joe Fan, Mr. Benny. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. So, like I said, this is just to really test out if this is going to work. So, you can see me, you can hear me. So now I'm going to transition to this view. Now, let me know if you can still see and hear me clearly, if anything has changed. Okay? You should be seeing me in the corner, and you should be seeing a dead vintage Snake Eyes figure in the middle. Is that what you guys are seeing? I hope so, because that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing that you're seeing. So, yeah, as you can see, this guy is in bad shape. He really needs a new O-ring. All right, looks like I'm coming in clear. All right, thanks, guys. So, yeah, I have a small vintage collection so far, and what was not in my video about my vintage figures was all the figures that need O-ring replacement. Well, some of them anyway. This guy was in there and he was hanging on, you know. So if you've never replaced a G.I. Joe O-ring, we're going to do it right now. Hopefully I don't embarrass myself too much. So I'm not sure where the lighting is. See, so if I move, I'm using my phone here, so the lighting is kind of wonky. So you take your average small screwdriver here, and you're going to unscrew that screw in the back, and it's going to be pretty tight. Mine is pretty tight. It's been in place for 30 plus years, or around 30 years. So all right, so he's fallen apart here, and so you've got the head, you've got the arms, and you've got the front half of the torso and the back half of the torso, and the infamous O-ring. And this thing, you can see right there, you can see how thin it's gotten. Oh, see, it just snapped. So we're going to try to get that O-ring out of there if I can. All right, I got it out. You just check the chat here to see. All right, nobody else is saying anything, but I've got a couple people watching. So welcome everyone that's watching. I'm just kind of testing this out to see if it's working. Pardon my dust if it doesn't go perfectly. So this is a Snake Eyes version. What version is he? 4, I think. All right, so this is the old O-ring. We're gonna get rid of that. And I've got a whole bag of new O-rings. I got these from smalljoes.com. A lot of people, for some reason, don't know that you can get these from smalljoes.com. I hear people saying they went to the hardware store, which I guess is fine if it's the same. I'm guessing it's the same thing. But I just ordered mine from Small Joe's, and I got a big bag of them. I don't remember exactly how many, maybe 100 or so. So I recommend purchasing from there if you can. So now in the crotchal area, you're going to see a hook. And you're going to want to try to loop this rubber O-ring into the hook, which can be a little tricky. And hopefully I'm actually able to do it while I am live streaming. That would be a little bit embarrassing if I wasn't able to do it right. So getting it to go. Some of you watching probably have a better way of doing this. You can let me know if you do. This is just the way that I've done it. And I am not a customizer or anything along those lines. I don't so I just realized you can't even really see my face when I'm kind of leaning over and doing this. So we're testing it out, guys. We're testing it out. SMCW, greetings from Oregon. Greetings. I'm in Steve K's in Washington. Benny says, take the waist off. Take the waist off. Well, basically, Benny, I don't know how to take the waist off. This is the way that I've done it. If I knew how to take the waist off, I would. I'm in South Florida myself, and it's pretty hot down here still. I know if you're in Oregon or Washington, I'm imagining it is a lot cooler there than it is here. It's in the upper 80s recently, and it's pretty darn hot still in October, which is, I mean, that's pretty normal for down here, unfortunately. All right, I think we're getting somewhere here. All right, I got it. So let me see if I can get a shot here. It's in the hook, it's in the O-ring. Hey, Hoth Rebel 86, yo Joe. So now comes the fun part, and when I say fun, I mean not fun, for me anyway. All right, I've got his back. Where does front go? Here it is. So I'm also kind of doing this a little bit weird here with my microphone setup. All right, so this is hard work, huh? You don't have to do this for the modern guys. No O-ring replacement there. What am I doing? All right, so this is the back. See, I'm forgetting to show you guys. I realize that I'm kind of holding it off camera. Sorry about that. So I'm learning. So you're going to want to loop the O-ring around this part where the screw goes in. Like so. And this may take me a couple dozen tries to get it right. So there's little nodules, little pegs here. and there's little holes on the other side, and those just kind of slide right over. I know some of you would probably have this done in a fraction of the amount of time. So as I snapped that on, I realized that I had forgotten to put the arms and head in. So hold on one second, guys. So I've got my phone that I'm using as my second camera here, and I just got a low battery message, so I'm going to attempt to plug it in right now and see if it still works. Alright, hold on. Something happened here. Oh. Hold on. I'm a Mac guy. I use a Mac, and whenever you plug your iPhone into the Mac, it launches iTunes and Photos. I gotta close all this stuff out. Come on. All right, here we go. Diego Borges. Greetings from Brazil. Wow, that's cool. Greetings from Brazil. Greetings from Florida, United States. Thanks for watching. So do any of you guys have this figure? This version of Snake Eyes? This was my Snake Eyes when I was a kid. This was the one that went on all the missions that Snake Eyes was assigned to. Dan Szymanski just joined. Yo, Joe. Yeah, I got it plugged in, so it should be working now. Alright, so I'm going to attempt to put the head and arms back. So, Dan, I just replaced the O-ring in here, and now I'm going to try to finish what I started, so without breaking it. So, alright, hold on, settle down, Snake Eyes, work with me here. You know what I really could use? I could use an assistant for these videos, because this is a lot of work trying to do this by yourself. Run 2 cameras, run the stream, monitor the chat, and do what you're trying to do. So, sorry if my hand's blocking it there. Alright, we've got the right arm on the right side. We've got the left arm. I may never do this on live stream again, because I feel like I'm not doing a very good job. There are pros out there that do this all the time, that could have this done in a fraction of the amount of time that it's taking me. But maybe I'm giving some of you guys a good laugh. All right. The suspense, right? Will he fix it without breaking it? Let's see. Almost. All right. And make sure that's snug. Okay. So that is Snake Eyes with a new O-ring. No more floppy in the waist. Like a new figure, you know? Now he does have a loose left knee. So I'm not sure what the remedy is for loose knees on these guys, on the vintage figures. I've got an ambush figure that I have standing up on display, and the other day I looked over, and this is how he was on display. his feet were in the stand, but he was completely bent over backwards. Let me check the chat here. Dan said, pronounced Shemansky. That Snake Eyes is solid, but nowhere near as cool as version 2 or version. Well, I agree. I mean, as a kid, this is what I had. So the thing is, Dan suggested I zoom out. I can't zoom with what I'm using. I can't zoom on. I'm using my phone. I'm using this app on my phone, and it doesn't let me zoom in or out. I can only move the camera like that. So yeah, I get what you're saying. But yeah, so Snake Eyes, hopefully maybe at least one person is learning how to replace an O-ring. So you see his right arm is loose here. It's those of you out there that have tips on fixing loose limbs like this, chime in the comments. I'd be interested to know, and I'm sure some other people would too. You know what? I'm gonna try to do one more. Okay. Let's see if we can fix old Topside here. Topside. He didn't get much play as a kid. Maybe it was because we didn't have any boats. We didn't have any Joe water vehicles. I take that back. We had the submarine, the black and blue submarine. I forget the name. G.I. Joeberg did a video on it not too long ago. I believe that's the only aquatic vehicle that we had. So Topside didn't get much play, but somehow his O-ring still got a lot of wear. So let's see if we can fix this guy. So you're going to take your teeny tiny... Oh, wait. You know what? I forgot to put in Snake Eyes' screw. That would have been bad, huh? So you're going to... It might be a good idea to get new screws. I don't know if that makes a difference or not. I usually just put in the old screw. Don't forget that last step, because that's what really makes sure it's solid. You guys in the chat didn't let me know I missed that, so it's on you too. Alright, so there, now he's good to go. Alright, Snake Eyes is done. Let's get to Topside here. I gotta figure out a better way to put my gear here, because I've got my left arm kind of wrapped around my microphone and my camera, and it's a bit awkward. So there we go. Another tight screw. I wonder if 30 years from now, if people are going to be making videos on how to repair modern era figures. I wonder if that'll be a thing. Alright, is that loose enough? Let's take his helmet off. It's casual. You don't need your helmet on Topside. We're all friends here. Oh, okay. So he just came right off there. Okay, so your O-ring comes off. Bad O-rings. If you missed it earlier, I said where I got my O-rings. I got my O-rings from smalljoes.com. If you're not familiar with them, it's a great website. Just log on smalljoes.com and go to, I think it's Collector Supplies, and they sell O-rings in bulk. I think like 100 or so to a bag. So that's where I got mine. Hey Dan, thanks for the comments. Yeah, I'm kind of trying to figure it out here as I go. So, all right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it. I know you could probably be doing something better with your time, like watching. See, I keep going up here. Like, I see what you're saying, Dan. But that's where my left arm is kind of up over here, so it's hard for me to get down here. Also, I've got a pretty squeaky chair. I don't know if that's coming through on the mic. I imagine it is. So if you're hearing a very annoying squeaking noise, that's what it is, my chair. What was I saying? Yeah, you could be doing something. So I'm guessing, is this no. All right, hold on. So I gotta get. You could be doing something better with your time, like watching Netflix. Anybody watching Netflix out there? My wife and I just finished rewatching all of Friends. Have you guys seen that show, Friends? Yeah, the whole thing. It took us a couple months. Some people, if I wasn't, if I didn't have to worry about time or money or responsibilities or anything, I could probably get through a full series in like a week if I just sat there. But I'm a TV guy, TV movie person, so I know some people can't stand sitting and watching TV for hours, but some people can. I have a friend of mine that he watches every single football game that he can, college and pro, all season long. His wife and kids pretty much say goodbye to him Saturday morning, or whenever the first game on Saturday is, and then I say, bye, Daddy. He's watching football. And then they go do their thing, and he does his thing. This is not as fun as you would think. Let me take a break for a second and check what you guys are saying in here. Hoth Rebel 86. Yeah, the loose knee joints, I don't know, is there a way to fix that? I don't know. I'm not too knowledgeable about that. Now, topsides knees are really tight. No problems there. My ambush, not so good. Play the G.I. Joe song in the background next time. Yeah, maybe I put some music on or something. Woodman29, hey, from Boston. Hey, thanks for watching. Steve K, 79, I just finished Mork and Mindy. The whole thing, you watched the whole series. I've got season 1 on DVD. I watched it when I was a kid, and it wasn't as, going back, I didn't watch the whole first season, but it wasn't as good as I remembered it being, As a kid, I loved it. Mork, maybe it was because he's a little, he's like a kid. The character Mork is like a big kid, and so I related to him. But as an adult, I find I'm not as thrilled with it as I was back then. Damn, Detroit Lions restored. Yeah, see, I'm not a big sports guy. I follow Florida State college football a little bit because family that went there. I almost went there, but that's about it. I couldn't tell you anything about anything sports going on. Like my sports references are few and far between, and So Woodman29, what's your thoughts on the last The last fad figs? Last figs? Do you mean the last figures we're getting from the Collectors Club? The modern figures? Is that what you're saying? I just received my last FSS figs today. I wasn't able to join this last FSS, so I don't have any of, what is it, 7? I don't have any of those, unfortunately. There were some pretty good looking ones in the batch. Crystal Ball, I really wanted that one. Was Zaymot in this one? Tomax. I have Zaymot, but I needed Tomax. Yeah, there was the Arctic Cobra Commander. That one looked really cool. So, and I looked up the aftermarket prices on some of those. It's pretty high. So who knows if I'm ever gonna get any FSS Stalker. Yeah. So it's just it wasn't good timing. I'm planning on getting a good amount of the final 12 figures, though. I'm not sure when they're coming out. They've only released one preview image for the Sonic Fighter Viper. I'm not sure. It's supposed to be, the last quarter of this year, which we're in. So I'm waiting for an announcement on when those are going to be available. Delva 78. This is Topside. I'm working on Topside, Old Yellow Eyes, which reminds me of another show that I really like, is Supernatural. If any of you guys have ever seen that, it's on Netflix. It has I'm only about 7 seasons behind on that show, so I should be caught up by maybe 2025. But there was a character in the show, the first couple seasons, called the Yellow-Eyed Demon. And Topside reminds me of him because of his yellow eyes that they painted yellow for some reason. Woodman 29, you gonna go for FSS? Was this last FSS? Was that 7 or 8? So the final 12 are not going to be FSS. They're not a subscription. I believe they're selling them as in 2-packs, I think. I'm not sure because they haven't really said. That's what I believe. And I think it's just, I don't know if they're made to order, if they're going to take pre-orders. They haven't said, so I don't know. Delva 78, can you fill me in on this figure after my time? When was Topside? He was, let's look at the date on his leg here. 1990. So Topside, he got a modern release not too long ago. He is a Navy guy, and if you didn't know that, you just have to look at him. He's got Navy written on his chest, and I don't necessarily think he's the most popular. Whoa! I don't think he's the most popular guy, or popular figure, I should say. One of the reasons is because of his yellow eyes, which really, they're either yellow or they're just skin tone, which kind of sucks. That was a little bit of a QC issue there. So let's see here. We've got his right arm. You don't want to mix up the arms because otherwise you'll have backwards hands and his elbows won't bend the right way. I kind of feel like Dr. Frankenstein here now that we're in the Halloween season. I really like Halloween. It's one of my favorite holidays. Probably right after Christmas is Halloween. And now that I have kids, it's kind of even more fun to experience it with them. Actually, all holidays are a little more fun when you've got kids that are experiencing them for the first time. All right, so let's see. Benny, pre-orders start sometime this fall for the last 12. Yeah, I figured it was going to be pre-orders, and I imagined that they would have come up already. And I had imagined that they would have shown all of the preview images for the figures by now, but I've only seen the one for Sonic Fighter Viper. So I don't know what they're waiting for. They have to have them done if they're releasing them this soon, you know? I'm very interested in getting the... you don't want to put the head on backwards. That's not good. In getting the Zartan with the motorcycle. That's probably my number one thing I'm going to be looking for, because I missed out on Heart Wrencher and the Dreadnought vehicle this last time. I just didn't... It was my stupidity for not ordering it, and now it's... If you look at the aftermarket prices on that, they're ridiculous. And this arm does not want to stay in. His left arm keeps popping out. I need another hand here. If I had one more hand... Raise your hand if you enjoy replacing O-rings in vintage figures, because I have to say that it's not one of my favorite things to do. Maybe that's might be one of the reasons why I'm not a huge vintage guy, because with vintage, you either buy cheap with needing some TLC, or you buy expensive with little to no TLC, and I just don't have the time or energy to sift through a bunch of old stuff. Speaking of that, if you guys have not checked out Justice Curry's YouTube channel, I highly recommend. It's very... he goes through, he buys collections, he buys and sells stuff, and he could probably change this O-ring in 2 seconds flat. I, however, need a little more time. But that's... look up Justice Curry. That's Justice spelled the way you would spell it, and then Curry is C-U-R-Y. But he's got Joe, He-Man... I don't think he does Transformers, but I know Joe and He-Man are two of his top things that he does. So, all right. So his head, so I got the O-ring in, but his head is still really loose here. I'm not sure what's going on there, but nothing really I can do about it, right? Not sure why that is. Last step, don't forget, you got to put the screw back in. So take your teeny tiny screwdriver with your teeny tiny screw. I'm just going to drop the screw in there. There we go. Huh. Apologize if I'm not keeping up with the chat, because it's hard to do that. And okay, let me go back and see here. Isaac Wilson said, I want some Planet Green Valley figures. I'm not familiar with those figures, so I can't really comment on those. But if you can give me some more info, maybe I can look into that and see what you're talking about. Oh yeah, FSS 8, that's right. That's supposed to come out like right after FSS 7 is done. FS 8 will start. Yeah, Gridiron, I really wanted Gridiron. Yeah, Blizzard. The odd characters are of more interest to me as an adult, like the 87 Cobra lineup. So Elvis 78 said that 87, 88, 89, that's where I jumped into the whole Joe world. When right after G.I. Joe the movie came out, that's when I joined up. So let's see our handiwork here. We've got top side and Snake Eyes. both of these guys have a little bit of a loose head going on. Delvis 78. It's like setting up a mousetrap. Yeah. Replacing O-rings is not for the faint of heart. Dan says, I typically hold the figure in my hand as I reassemble them, not on the table. Maybe I'll try that next time. It was, not so easy changing them on the table here. And the way that I'm situated, I'm not kind of right over it like I usually am. Dan says, who was your first Joe? My first Joe? Oh, geez. As far as I can remember, my earliest Joe was actually the driver with the vehicle was, what's his name? Now that you ask me, I can't. Frost. Let me look it up real quick, because if I say the wrong name, I'm going to look stupid. Hold on. Yeah, I got him in the box over here. He needs a new O-ring, which I won't be doing tonight. I got a bunch that need new O-rings. Hold on. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'll tell you. No. Hold on. Okay. My first Joe that I think was Frostbite, Tiger Force Frostbite with the Tiger Cat. We were on a trip somewhere. My mom, my brother, me, my grandma. We went into a store. I don't remember what store it was. It was not a toy store. But buried in the back of the store, there was a section of toys. And back there was Tiger Force, Tiger Cat with Tiger Force Frostbite, in the box and everything. So I got that, and my brother got the Rock Viper, which is another great figure. What year did the Tiger Cat come out? Because I think it was before I would have. All right, so so the Tiger Cat came out in 1988. So it's possible I could have gotten it that year. I either got it in 88 or 89. So that was my first Joe. Delvis 78 says floor wax on the neck joint will keep it fairly secure. Okay. That means I'd have to buy some floor wax, doesn't it? Huh. Woodman 29. I purchased these O-rings from smalljoes.com, which is a great site for G.I. Joe supplies. They also sell figures, but they sell collector supplies like O-rings. They sell them in bulk, so I think like a bag of 100 or so. So you just go to smalljoes.com and you can tell them I sent you. You won't get any sort of discount, and they probably won't know who I am, but you could tell them I sent you anyway. So that's where I got them. Isaac Wilson, thanks. Thanks for sharing the link on that. Hoth Rebel 86, is there a new G.I. Joe comic book coming out? So I just did a video the other day about a new comic that's coming out in the spring of 2019, but it's not a new ongoing. It's a limited series. It's looks like it's within its own continuity. It's not connected to anything else. It's called G.I. Joe Sierra Madre, and it's being written, drawn, colored, penciled by Michel Fief, who is an indie comic guy. I believe this will be his highest profile project that's not something he created himself. So It looks interesting. I recommend checking out my last video where I have some images of what it's going to look like, but that we won't see that until beginning of next year. So Isaac Wilson talking about Planet Green Valley 1/18th scale figures, which piques my interest. The 1/18th is my scale. The astronauts look 10 times better than FSS payload. Yeah, so there was a Kickstarter a little while ago on astronaut figures 1/18th scale, but I don't know what happened with that. It kind of disappeared. But yeah, there's not too many sci-fi 1/18th scale stuff out there. Okay, Dan Szymanski says Tiger Cat was 1988, Rock Viper was 1990, so I must have gotten them in 1990. So Tiger Cat was shell forming in that store for a while. I don't know what store it was. It was, one of those stores. It was probably I don't know, it wasn't Walmart, it wasn't Target, it was a small store. Woodman 29, how many Joes in your collection so far? I couldn't tell you total. I don't know. I've never bothered to count them all up. It's got to be I don't know, 150, maybe 150. It's not a lot compared to guys that have everything, that have started, guys that started in 2007 with 25th anniversary and kept going and never stopped, whereas I was only able to get a few here and there throughout the years. So, but 99% of my vintage figures are from my original childhood collection. So I've had these, for a long time. Didn't have to rebuy them. So, all right, how long have I been going? I've been going for a while here, so I think I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. Woodman 29, yeah, you started in 82. I was born in 82, so I started much later than you did. Yeah, so that could be another topic for live stream. When we started with Joe and how the different entry points affected how we perceived the line and what we used. Hiya Toys APC, it'll be worth joining the Joeverse. Yeah, I've heard of Hiya Toys. I believe they've done some Batman 1/18th scale stuff. But I don't know about their APC. I'll have to check that out. Delva78, what was your first modern figure? My first modern figure, it was two figures. I was in Walmart and I saw the 25th anniversary. I had no idea they existed before. I saw them in the store and I bought two figures that I never had as a kid. Snake Eye, 25th anniversary Snake Eyes with the visor. I had this Snake Eyes and then Snake Eyes, the version after this with the all black, but I never had the, all black Snake Eyes. So I got 25th anniversary Snake Eyes and 25th anniversary hooded Cobra Commander. Those are my first two figures because I didn't have those as a kid. So I thought, and what was funny is that, so I'm in the store, I see them, they re-released the G.I. Joes. Great. So I bought two, took them home, opened them up, then I go and get my vintage figures and I'm like, wait a minute, these don't match up at all. These are completely different size. And so I kind of fell away from it for a little while. I was a little bit disappointed because I had gone through a few of the New Sculpt era stuff where everything was mismatched and I was like, all right, fool me once, But after I bought a couple more of the modern stuff, and then eventually I just kind of stuck with it. So, Woodman 29, yeah, tell me about it. I feel old too. I've got two kids, and just every day is one step further. Benny says, Benny Benzigo, or you got a mouthful of a name there, buddy. Thanks for coming on tonight. Well, thanks for watching. This was not planned. I'm surprised I have anybody that's actually watching. Hoth Rebel 86 says, great show. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. I really appreciate that a lot. Us Joe Cobra fans are hungry for content. Keep it coming. I know. Now with, no new stuff, new figures coming after this year, and no movie news, and we're little slim pickings, huh? Isaac Wilson's Hiya Toys did the Aliens APC 118. Okay, all right. I didn't realize that's what it was for. All right, I'll look into it. Delvis 78 I hit 40 years old this year, and it's hit back hard. Yeah, I am 36, so it's hard to believe. Sometimes I'll think about it. Wait, I'm gonna be 40, and it's so. All right, Woodman 29, thanks for showing up, and I'm probably going to head out too, guys. I've been going for about 45 minutes now, so I might do this. I think I might do this again. I've got a bunch of figures that need O-rings, so let me know if you'd be interested in, jumping on and doing a live stream every once in a while with some O-ring replacements, if that's something you'd be interested. Just kind of hanging out, fixing some Joes. Keeping it casual. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for me for tonight. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.